Now, the existing demands on services which look after vulnerable children are stretched enough already. Now, details from a leaked Home Office report obtained by ITV News show caseworkers are struggling to cope because of the extra pressures posed by underage drug runners. The numbers have doubled in a year. The children are recruited by gangsters who deal, but dealing with the children, frontline workers say, is near impossible under current laws.
We got something.
West Midlands Firearms Squad are chasing a taxi. They believe the passenger is carrying a gun.
So they think this man has got arms on him.
Except the passenger is a child. He's 15 years old. In fact, 3 14 and 15-year-olds get out. There's no gun, but there's a different problem.
You all look very young.
The police suspect these children have been groomed to sell drugs from one part of the country to another.
Can you get my phone right there?
It's a phenomenon known as county lines. Standing on the curb, it's clear the police are concerned about these children, but there's no immediate threat, so they have to let them go. Today, we've obtained an exclusive Home Office report where 4,000 professionals on the front line handling county lines children call for urgent action. One said children found with drugs are not raising alarm bells. Any child holding crack cocaine should be a child protection case. These are drugs people kill for and that kill. Another caseworker said they had to fight for a child in possession of a gun to be accepted as a case of neglect. Speaking to ITV News and the Tonight programme, these teenagers are dealing drugs. They started as young as 10. They're not being identified for their own safety.
How did you get involved?
I did have a father role, so just my mum. Where I live, there was just, I was like 8, the age of 8, and I was chilling with like 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds.
Right. What sort of money were you earning as a 10-year-old?
Too much for a 10-year-old. I've always got a knife on me.
Have you got a knife on you now?
Yeah. It's just a little one.
When you see these stories of 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds who are being stabbed, shot, and it's obviously about drugs, and it's obviously about what you do, do you not think something has to stop?
It's got to stop, you know, but obviously at the same time, we've got to survive out here, we've got to live.
It's a cycle. These groomed children are likely to go on to groom young people themselves. Tonight, we're speaking to 3 men who use children to sell their drugs.
You're ruining their lives.
No.
No?
No. Because before they do anything, the first initiation we do, when we meet with young ones, we tell them, do you want to do this before you get into this? Because once they get into this, it's not coming out. And there is a come out, but it's not a come out as a thing that once you get into this, you can either die or go jail. There's 2 things. And if you don't get them 2 things, then you're lucky.
But it's what people would call grooming. Exploiting children.
We're showing the kids what we had to do when we were
showing
kids.
them the proper
We're
way.
not grooming them.
If you're going to do it, you're going to do it
like
properly.
we're doing what they done, we done. So it's not like they just done it. We done it too.
It's what me and them.
So you can say grooming, but it's a nice grooming.
We've spoken to one senior youth worker who's dealt with many young men like these.
We've got a whole generation of young people out there who are exploiting others, that are killing people, but are also being victimised and targeted. I mean, these guys are in trouble. They need to be open to social care. They need to be given places at colleges or school. You know, you're shouting from the rooftops that these kids need help.
Now the government's own advisor tells us a new law is needed.
I think that's what's coming from the report in terms of the people that we're speaking to and the findings from those practitioners is that there needs to be perhaps a review or new legislation that would cater for criminal exploitation.
Back in Birmingham, and another 14-year-old stopped, marked as involved in county lines.
How old are you? 14. 14, yeah.
The government's own advisors are now clear. Without new legislation, thousands more children like this will be let down.
Allegra, these are really heartbreaking stories, but shocking too, and all the more shocking for the scale of it.
The scale of it, but also let's be clear, what the failures in the legislation right now mean is that particularly those children in Birmingham that I saw with my own eyes, they possibly the next time the police come across them, they've either been shot or stabbed or have shot or stabbed somebody. They have markers on them for county lines, but there's nothing the police can do about it. Now, when we first revealed it 2 years ago, only 7 police forces said they had a problem. I remember ringing police forces and they suggested they didn't even know what the term meant. Now it's all police forces believe there's a problem. In April, there was a serious violence strategy from the government. In it, they said the increase in serious violence is about drugs, and in it, they themselves say it's about county lines. It's no longer a niche issue, and everybody I speak to that I respect believes the time has come for a new law.